Brothers, David Pakman is 100% a left-wing slop channel. It is literally him 7 or 8 times a day putting the feed in the trough for the left-wing piggies to just eat it up. To just eat it up. Let's take a look at David Pakman's recent video. I just got notified that he just put out a new video an hour ago. It's 12 midnight, an hour ago. This guy is just feeding slop into the machine non-stop. 1 hour ago. Is J.D. Vance preparing for Trump's death? Trump pounded by Japan. Trade negotiator cancels trip. They want us to shut up. White House furious about Trump's health crisis. What the fuck? DeSantis forgets that Trump was president. All of this is dishonest political pig slop for the little hogs that go wild at this shit. But this guy is not a true believer. Now, sure, there may be things that he actually believes as it relates to the left. But the fact is that this is the definition of a grifter. This is somebody that just puts pig feed into the system. Not an ounce of credibility or care about the content. The videos are short, get them out quick, boom, boom, boom. Put up the most ridiculous headline. Everything anti-Trump, everything salacious. This guy is a Trump reaction channel. How pathetic. And on top of that, now people are talking about David Pakman being one of the slop tubers on the left that were getting paid by the DNC. That was a revelation. And it makes total sense. It makes total sense why there is uniformity. There's no original thought in David Pakman's videos. No original thought at all. And by the way, the sponsors, are you fucking kidding me? You would degrade your brand by putting it next to this face and this content? Holy shit.
I've been getting a steady stream of emails and DMs and YouTube comments from people asking me to weigh in on a theory, or maybe we would call it a hypothesis, that's starting to circulate.
Yeah,
and the question is really
theory
simple.
Created by leftists, for leftists, with not an ounce of credibility. This is something that they invented. J.D. Vance, in his interview that they're pulling from, he was asked a question, and he said, Trump is in amazing health, but if something happened, I would be willing to step in, and I'd be able to step in as president. So the statement was not like a warning, it was a reassurance. Like, because the question was predicated in the way that you get from the media oftentimes, whether it's Fox News or CNN, they often go in with a twist. They're not actually looking for a forthright answer to a question that people want to know. They have an agenda. And so J.D. Vance answers the question honestly and openly, and the left have taken this and turned it into this conspiracy theory that is just so fucking pathetic. And it reveals that these people, they are obsessed with, in his case, it's clout, views, money. But there are a lot of people, apparently, who eat this shit up. And that's depressing. That is really depressing. Because this content is garbage. This is garbage. Not an ounce of truth or substance or sustenance for your soul or your mind in any of it. This guy comes up, okay guys. All right, so J.D. Vance said that as vice president, he would be ready to take over in the unlikely event that anything would happen. So we can extrapolate from that Trump is dying and he may be dead very soon and JD Vance may have to take over. Let's think about this. Let's do 10 videos on this. These people are demons. I'm telling you what, these are evil people with malicious intent and twisted souls.
Is there already a quiet movement inside the Republican Party, maybe inside Trump's inner circle, certainly inside JD Vance's staff, that is setting the stage for Vice President JD Vance to become president if Donald Trump dies while in office? Now, I want to be clear about two things. This is speculative, and also the definition of being vice president is being ready to become president if the president dies. So I know you...
Yeah, so why are you speculating on this? You're speculating on this because you looked at the algorithm, you looked at the trends, you see that there's a bloodlust on the left for Trump to die, and you're capitalizing on that. Now, you're also hedging your bets. You realize that Trump is not dying. You realize that his health is perfectly fine. I think that David Pakman, I think that he's a pathetic man, a very weak man. But I think that he's smart enough to see that the left are a bunch of immoral, degenerate retards. A bunch of bloodthirsty, low IQ, pathetic, demonic, degenerate retards. And so what he's doing here is he's feeding them the slop. But he realizes that with all this slop is going to come a backlash. Because, no, Trump is not dying. JD Vance's statement is not some sort of deep indication. The reason they're doing this, by the way, is because they're trying to do the thing of, oh, well, you said that Biden was sick, so now we're going to say Trump is sick, even though Biden actually was sick. Biden actually was mentally impaired. President Autopen. But people like David Pakman and others pretended that, no, this is a right-wing conspiracy. Because people like David Pakman and others, their side of the political party is obsessed with power and winning. They don't care about morality or ethics or honor or integrity. They're not interested in any of that. That's just an inconvenience. That's a facade. That's optics. That's not actually something that you have to live by. You don't have to actually live an honorable life. You just have to accuse other people of being less honorable than you, then by virtue you can be more honorable than them. So, yes, Joe Biden was a vegetable. Yes, Joe Biden was a humiliation to the United States. Yes, he did things that were absolutely disgraceful. He was out to lunch. Everyone knew it. But people like David Pakman and others and the Young Turks and Hassan and all these other people, they pretended that he was fine. Now, Trump has not had anything like that. Not anything close. Trump has more energy than David Pakman does. Trump is able to do more interviews, more meetings. Yeah, David Pakman would keel over if he actually had to put in any amount of work rather than just producing slop that takes no brain power. Because, I mean, you don't have to prove anything. You just have to say something. We're just speculating here, right, guys? We're speculating about something that is not true. Objectively not true. Observably not true. But that's where we're at. These slop tubers, these left-wing pig shit content creators are just making it up because they realize that there's a bloodlust on the left.
You might be saying, well, David, that's like the job of the vice president. What I mean is a little more about this. What I mean is in the context of real questions about Donald Trump's health and also a movement within the Republican Party that doesn't see Trump as a good steward of the party and this sort of technocrat, the sort of technocratic movement, the Peter Thiel types behind JD Vance. Is there more of a proactive movement that is saying, JD, hold on here. We don't think Trump's going to make it. We're going to set you up to take the Republican Party in a different direction. The reason so many people are bringing it up is because of the dots that we've been connecting lately. Trump obviously is an older guy, but there's more to it. His health is a growing topic of conversation. He's obese, he eats a terrible diet, he doesn't exercise, his ankles are extraordinarily swollen.
So notice how this homosexual man is now suddenly a medical expert. Now, during the Biden administration, I'm not a doctor. I don't know anything. I don't know anything about, dementia or cognitive decline or Joe Biden's inability to walk up a set of stairs. And, I don't know anything about that. But suddenly, this twink cuck homosexual retard comes out and is suddenly a medical expert and suddenly very interested in Trump's mental health and Trump's physical health, only because they want to use it as a way to try to undermine him because his agenda is too effective and too popular. What Trump is doing with the deportations, the only criticism people have is he's not doing enough. Trump is not going anywhere. And these people know that, but they're putting that out there because these are anti-American, selfish actors. And when I say anti-American, understand, these people hate this country. They hate the way that it was founded. They hate that we have unalienable rights under God. They hate religion. These people hate this country. The fact that the founding fathers were Christian, the fact that we had slavery, but we ended it where most other places in the world didn't, and they want to blame us for slavery as though we started it, as though our country was the progenitor of it. These people are sick, and their brain broken, and their soul is broken, and they make this pig slop just to feed these mentally ill losers that should be in an insane asylum.
Both hands are bruised. He seems to struggle to walk in a straight line. His eyes are regularly swollen red and tearing up. He's up all night sometimes, seemingly dissembling and disoriented. Slurred speeches, meandering thoughts.
None of this is true. None of this is true. I mean, anyone who's seen Trump like a couple days ago, this isn't true. This is more just malicious bullshit. This is just slop tuber, antagonistic bullshit. None of this is true. And the thing is, why would you, if Trump were in the state that you're saying, it would be self-evident, it would be obvious, but it's not. You're trying to invent this. You're making it up. Trump had a bruise on his hand. Trump's ankles were swollen. The whole thing about him slurring, the whole thing, that's bullshit. The only reason that you're doing that is because you hate Trump and you wish that he would die. David Pakman and these people on the left, they fantasize about Trump dying. What they don't realize is that Trump is a half measure. Trump is a half measure. And what is on the other side of Trump is something that for them is far, far worse. Which is somebody that isn't looking to compromise with the evil that they represent, but instead want to give them a boot, which is what they deserve. It's not retribution, it's accountability. These people have been lying for years. David Pakman himself, taking money behind the scenes, not telling anyone. I mean, if that is true, if what Taylor Lorenz said is true, if that article is to be believed, and I don't put much stock in Taylor Lorenz, but you had a lot of people who were getting paid to pump out garbage and they weren't disclosing it. And you hear that the DNC was paying $20 million to try to attract young men to the party. So they were obviously willing to pay a lot of money. And you don't think these people like David Pakman were on that? Were going like, hey, maybe I could get a little bit of that. But I mean, you look at this guy's content and it's just dishonest. It's lying, misrepresenting. And why would you have to do that? If Trump were as bad as David Pakman says, it would be self-evident, it would be obvious. But no. These people live in a delusion. And in David Pakman's case, it's all based on money and clicks and views. Hassan Piker, I think, is a true believer. I think he is a pure leftist. I think that David Pakman is a liberal. And by the way, liberal is a dirty word. I think what David Pakman represents is something that ultimately needs to be defeated. It's a set of beliefs, it's an ideology that is cursed. It is malevolent. It is dishonest. It is deceptive. It is the snake in the garden. But this is the type of content that he oozes out now. And it happens so much because this guy's obsessed with numbers. Anyway, that's my thoughts on David Pakman and his recent smattering of slop content about Trump. This guy's a Trump channel now. He should change his name. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for watching. See you next time.